Everyone's freaking out about New York City's Copa law. Well, here's the real deal. If you want to sell a residential building with 4 or more units, you can't list it right away. You first have to notify the city, which...
So you got to notify the city before you sell your multifamily unit that's 4 or more in New York. This is New York's new Copa law. This is the Copa law. This is what Mamdani and Sia Weaver have been conspiring and people in that space. So now you as a private owner, if you have 4 units or more, have to reach out to the city to let the city know that you're going to be selling your shit. That's the first step.
Gives approved nonprofits about 45 days to express interest.
Nonprofits, approved nonprofits. I asked the question, who is approving these nonprofits? Are they like the nonprofits in Minnesota? Are they like the nonprofits in Ohio, in Maine, in California, in these other blue states? That means the people who own those nonprofits, are they really doing business, or is it just a land grab? And this is why I say this is a scheme. That's why I say this is a scheme on the highest level. This is, if you thought that COVID money was free and people were doing all this fraudulent shit for COVID, if you thought what they had going in Minnesota was like something of any caliber, some people don't even believe, no, it's not billions, it's just a few bad actors. Imagine how shit will hit the fan, because we're talking about money. Now we freaking talking about land. We're talking about land. We're talking about land. First we're talking about money, now we're talking about land. And they got a time frame to 0, 45, up to 120 days to buy your shit.
And if a nonprofit steps in, there can be up to another 120 days for negotiations. If you reject their offer, but later accept a third-party deal, that original nonprofit may still have a right of first refusal to match the offer, even late in the process, causing delays and uncertainty.
So if you reject their offer and you go into the market and somebody gives you a better offer, them jokers to still come back and have the right of first refusal to meet or beat that offer. That's so insane. And you may say at the end of the day, so what? The person's house is still that 4 unit plus that multifamily, that thing is still getting sold. And I don't disagree. It is still getting sold. I'm now saying, who is it getting sold to? What nonprofit came up with that additional funds to buy and beat out that other buyer? And what about if that other buyer is not a nonprofit? Where's the fair play for them? This now starts to become less and less of a fair playing field and more of a socialist controlled nonprofit type of playing field, where the nonprofits can do whatever they want to do when they want to do it, and pretty much they got to say. And I kind of am wondering who's behind these nonprofits. Who determines if this is a good qualified nonprofit? Is it the same city council that voted this shit in place? You know, I get these dumb questions like, what does this have to do with Georgia? Or you're in Atlanta, what does it have to do? Because you got to realize, if you start this little experiment in New York and they say, oh yeah, it works, even though the shit don't work, even though you don't even ask these hard questions, even though you don't do any investigating or due diligence on the back end to see who owns these companies and these nonprofits, and they say it work, those same nonprofits can now advocate to Atlanta, San Francisco, Minnesota. God knows they're in Minnesota already. to now begin to adapt this same policy program. And these are mostly blue cities. You got most metropolitans are blue cities. Not all, but most of the metropolitans are blue cities. So what about if I am a multifamily owner and I live in this blue city and you bring this freaking law down here to me and my ass now got to conform to that shit? Like I got to actually now, what about my family's wealth? What about my family's growth? I'm not out here trying to, I mean, I just want to build, I just want to add a couple, I want to add a multi-unit on every year. That's it. So you bring that crazy shit down here and I got to now conform to that shit? Man. I'm going to tell you, my brand isn't just real estate. Leon Duncan, the real Leon Duncan, that's my brand. This is just a show. This is just a show. I'm not performing. This is a show just to talk about these real estate related issues. And I'm not all real estate. I got a lot of other shit that I do, from AI to I love tech. I love other stuff, reselling, vintage. I'm just trying to show you, when we talk about wealth being robbed from the black community, it's being robbed by the same people that look like black people that are in these positions of city council. And I'm going to catch a lot from it. I already don't have a bunch of friends that fucking flock to me already. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? They look at me and they see me on Facebook or they see me streaming and they're like, oh, Leon's out here talking that shit again. And then they complain in the next breath why their damn taxes are so high when they got to file their taxes that they only get a certain amount back. I'm not getting as much back as I did last year. Because the math isn't mathing and they quite don't get the logical jump from one thing to the next. Or overly spiritual. They so much love God and Jesus, the Lord will make a way. And ignore completely what's taking place and shifting in the playing fields. And he said, Leon, how can we change these things? First, we got to be knowledgeable of this shit happening. Yeah, you got to know. You got to know, because I had a dude who reached out to me for, we do funding. We fund loans. The link, I think the link should be in this email, in this video. We fund loans on deals, off-market deals, DSCR loans, and He reached out to me and he's looking for a fund. He's looking for funding for a property he's buying in Georgia. And I'm like, Georgia, okay, where are you from? He's in California. And we get to talking. He's like, hey man, I will never buy a piece of property in California. You got to know what's coming and what could potentially happen based on this crazy rhetoric. But when you're everybody's sitting under the same umbrella, Kumbaya, Democratic Party, Kumbaya, the Rainbow Coalition. Y'all sitting under the same umbrella, right? Those same Negroes, the Jamal Bryants, the Warwicks who are getting rich off of y'all behinds. Y'all all sitting under the same umbrella. They getting paid, bro. You think that Somalian thing is a joke? No, it's real deal. They came to the country, learned the loophole, put the loophole in place, and then loop the loophole. All right.
Pass over now. Ignore the process and sell anyway, and the penalty can be up to 3% of the total sale price. Plus, nonprofits can sue to enforce compliance or challenge the sale, which is why.
Wow. So you can pay a penalty up to 3% for ignoring that process. This is forced. This is forced eminent domain. Forced. Hey, bring it to me so we can just establish eminent domain. Forced process. Yeah. So they're sued in that, right? Or they can sue you on the back end because they felt it was done wrong. How much shit is that going to be in the courts? Because you think I should have sold my shit to you, even though I was getting more money over here and you didn't want to match it, or you feel something wrong in that process. I don't know when y'all got to realize that this is not a white issue, it's not a black issue, it's a money issue. It's always been, since the playing field has been leveled down, and with more and more technology rolling out, this is a green thing. This is not a white or black thing. They don't care about your color. They may not, you may meet people that are prejudiced against your color, but they have their rights to be prejudiced. I said it. They have their rights to be prejudiced. They have a right to be prejudiced. They can be prejudiced and biased and that's their decision. Nobody is required to accept me for my color, my ethnicity, or anything. I don't know where did this thinking come from where people have to accept us? When you wait for people to accept you, you actually degrade and lower yourself. Because you wait for people to accept you. Somebody has to accept you. Somebody has to accept you. You're waiting to be accepted. Do you know how inferior that is? I'm sorry, I had a call that came into real estate call. You know how inferior sounding that sounds? I'm fighting you because you ain't accepting me. Now, I get it if they do some shit to you. I get it if it causes you to lose something. I get that. But this is a different thing right here. This is completely different. Anyway, man, let's go.
Why this law slows deals and adds serious legal risk to the New York real estate market.
You think? You think?
That's the sound outside City Hall Thursday, where dozens of housing advocates, tenants, and community leaders are demanding City Council pass the Community Opportunity to Purchase Act, Copa! Known as Copa. Copa would give nonprofit and community-based groups the first chance to buy apartment buildings before big investors do, a way to keep homes affordable and curb real estate speculation.
That's what they're speculating will be the result of this stupid law. So you get a bunch of broke, homeless, or potentially going to be homeless people out here protesting for this. I don't see people who create jobs, who benefit society in a level of adding value to the lives of other people out here doing that shit. I don't, because they don't have time for that. They understand, and the value that comes from them will actually open up so many different doors that this is not even a thought pattern to them. So you say, Leon, this is the less fortunate. So you get the less fortunate up out there advocating to take people's shit. Oh my God, the insanity, bro. The insanity. Texting her right now. I have you down for 2:30. We got a commercial piece of property we got to talk about. Commercial deal. Let's keep this thing going, man.
The law is modeled after similar programs in San Francisco and Washington, D.C.
Tenants like myself are left fighting.
Among those rallying for the bill, Denise Clay, a resident of 287 Prospect Avenue in South Slope, Brooklyn. She says she's fighting to stay in the place she's called home for years.
Tenants need solutions, not problems. Just because the tax abatement has expired doesn't mean that we all now suddenly are eager to move. We've put in roots where we live. We've helped build these communities.
She says her building once received a tax abatement, but after it expired, tenants found themselves at risk of losing their homes. For residents like Clay, Copa could be life-changing.
The passing of Copa would be a step in the right direction for tenants like myself. Essentially, it would help know that our...
Always the people who want the free shit advocating to take the shit from people. See, it doesn't mean anything to you when you don't have it. When you don't have anything, you're cool with people taking stuff away from people to give to you. You're cool. There's nothing wrong with it for you. The hard work that those other people had, they need to get rid of it and come off them because they need to give it to you, right?
City has our back in working to preserve our affordability and to create, basically stable, secure housing that's long term.
We want to just set the record straight about what this bill does.
Deyanira Del Rio is the executive director of the New Economy Project. She described Copa's potential impact.
What it does is really give a small number of vetted, qualified, mission-driven, affordable housing groups, including community land trusts, a first opportunity to bid on certain multifamily buildings when a landlord puts it up for sale.
Oh, you mean like Minnesota had a group of specific, and Maine had a group of specific nonprofits that were designated to receive federal funds to take care of this issue within the community? You mean that same type of vetted thing that y'all do on the left? Because, damn, they making this. I didn't know they were getting money like this, bro. I had no idea that they were getting the bag like this. I had no idea that they were getting the bag like this. I had no idea. Them jokers is getting the bag, bro. They've been getting the bag. The Democratic Party been getting the bag. Don't get it twisted. Some of y'all Republican candidates been getting the bag too. That's why Marjorie Taylor quit. She said, I can't deal with the amount of corruption and shit that I see. So don't pat yourself on the back too hard. Yeah. I support Trump, but don't you think I don't think he getting the bag? Every sitting president, it used to be the presidents, now it's the congressmen, it's the senators, and they get in the bag. Ilhan Omar, she up here, she getting the bag. Don't get that shit twisted. So y'all throwing yourselves in front of cars and it wasn't throw yourself using your cars. Yeah, y'all did throw yourself in front of cars too, and running people over with shit. Yeah.
Folks like Clay, Copa could let nonprofits jump in first to buy her shaky building. That might keep her rent from shooting up now that her tax break is gone, but would still depend on who wins the bids and what the city says yes to.
It would be a total game changer if Copa passes today.
In Lower Manhattan, Corey McGinnis, Pix 11 News.
Yeah. Because you guys are out here fighting for shit. You have no idea what you're fighting. What I'm not going to say. These people that are out here, let me be specific. You have, and I got to say, to all white liberals, to white people, period. Listen, dear white people, I notice what's been happening over in Minnesota, and I feel for y'all too. Because these are people that look just like you. And don't worry, in my culture, we have those too. That do shit just like that. They tend to be milking the system. And it's us that's out here that we have to fight for every fucking break that we get. But some of them out here just getting it. I don't say I don't fight for it. God gave it to me, man. God give it to me. Shoot. I stand for it. I don't even fight for it. I changed that language. Because he's already done. But bro,